Football starts here.
What a run by Forte.
DeMarco Murray, touchdown.
Des Bryant. Marshall got the ball. Down the sideline. Going up. Touchdown, Jeffrey. Touchdown, Cowboys. Play.
It's Thursday night football. Oh yeah, baby.
As we drop the curtain on another Thursday night spectacle, this time in the Windy City. The Cowboys and the Bears coming up, and we go immediately to the sideline. Tracy Wolfson with Des Bryant.
Thanks a lot, Jim. And Des, you guys are coming off a loss to the Eagles where you couldn't really get anything going. So how can you bounce back tonight?
We just got to stay focused. We got to stay to our game plan and, just come out here and dominate like we know that we can. We got to go out here and take care of business.
We wish you the best of luck. Thanks a lot. Jim?
Des had a touchdown on this field last December, but the Bears won that game 45-28. McCown was their quarterback a year ago. And you see the newly signed Jay Feely, as Robbie Gould is inactive with a quad injury, so the longtime veteran kicker, signed just yesterday, will handle the kicking chores tonight for the Bears. Dwayne Harris back deep for the Cowboys, who won the toss and won the football to start. Harris comes up to the 9. And goes through a web of tacklers out to about the 30. And we'll bring out Tony Romo. Raised about 80 miles north of here, just across the border in Wisconsin. And Tony Romo. His numbers on the year on the road just been brilliant. Burlington, Wisconsin, his hometown. Tony this season on the road, 12 touchdowns, only 1 interception. The Cowboys the best in the league on the road this year at 5-0. They're going to open up with a double tight end formation. Hannah joining Witten. And as they often do, they run it on first down with Murray, and he's stacked up on the left side for no gain. What do you think we're going to see out of the Cowboys tonight when they have the football?
Well, Jim, nobody stays with the run more than the Dallas Cowboys. They run it on first down more than any team in the National Football League. They're patient. Even when they get behind, they were down to the Rams 21-0. They stayed with the running game. They got back in. So that's the core of why this team is 8-4, running the football with this offensive line.
You saw Jason Garrett in his 5th year. They do run it 2 out of every 3 times on first down. They run it on second down now with Murray getting about 8. It'll set up 3rd and 2. Murray, the NFL leading rusher, and not just leading in that statistical category, by nearly 400 yards more than second best Le'Veon Bell.
Well, a couple things. He told us last night, I love playing on grass. And when you watch this running attack by the Cowboys, they can mush that football for 4 yards like nobody in the NFL. And DeMarco Murray always falls forward.
Over 1,400 yards rushing for Murray here on 3rd and 2. The Cowboys have the first down over to Dez, as Bryant picks up about 5 right in front of Kyle Fuller. And we talked to Romo last night. It was an off performance all the way across the board for the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. Short week, having played on Sunday night against the Giants, an emotional win. And Romo's back really wasn't ready in a short week last week, but he's feeling good going into this one.
Yeah, he didn't have time to get ready. You need a veteran quarterback to run this offense. Run, 3rd down, try to pick it up with a pass. Veteran quarterbacks can get that done. Hard for a young guy.
Here on first down, it's back over to Bryant. And the catch all the way down to the Chicago 42. Back-to-back plays to Dez, and this one good for 16.
Well, they're not really fooled on the defensive side, but it's a zone. It's free releases. The corners do not hit the wide receivers, so they get down the field easily. The Cowboys, when they do play actions on first down, they are absolutely terrific. In my opinion, they don't do enough.
Tight end Gavin Escobar in a slot to the right. First down for the Cowboys from the 42. They also have Harris in as a receiver, wide right. Romo once again, 3rd straight play to Bryant, who unleashes quite a stiff arm on the rookie Kyle Fuller and has a gain of about 5. Well, Tony Romo coming off of all the back issues, the surgery. Franchise leader in touchdown passes, and he's closing in on Aikman all-time yardage Cowboy history as the Cowboys try to close in on a postseason berth. Again, he had another back injury in the middle of this season. Second and 6, and it's Murray trying to get around the edge, and he does. And steps out about 2 shy of first, maybe a yard, maybe third and a long one coming up. How about Mel Tucker's defense for the Bears? What are you seeing out of them on tape?
Well, listen, I just say this about this tonight. You're playing against a very good offensive line, a veteran quarterback, and one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. If you don't crowd the line of scrimmage and be a little more physical and take some chances, they will just methodically keep marching, grind the clock away, and keep you on the field and wear you down. So they finally came up with the blitz. Didn't get DeMarco Murray down, but at least they're willing to try.
Mark Trestman's second year, third, we'll call it 2. From the pocket, Romo is decked. Taken down by Willie Young, the former Lion, with his 9th sack of the season.
He's the bright spot on this defense. Willie Young came from the outside, just showing that speed, and gets in there. I don't know what the blocking scheme was. I didn't like it. Running back on Willie Young, pretty tough to block him.
Yeah, it was Murray trying to hold off Willie Young, but he just stepped right past him and takes the Cowboys out of field goal range. So Chris Jones is in. They punted instead of trying about a 54-yard field goal. And it's a beautiful punt, and it's down by the long snapper. Ladisura downs it at the 6. The 30-yard punt gets the job done, but Willie Young ends that drive for Dallas with the sack. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here now through January 5th. And by Macy's. As you look at the Shed Aquarium, one of the most popular attractions here in the great city of Chicago. Let's check out the Bears now with their first drive of the game. Starting with their backs to their own end zone at the 7-yard line, we'll call it. 3 wide outs, but a running play with Forte. And that's Carr with a nice tackle. Last man on the edge there, and he holds him to 2. But Jay Cutler, he's had 20 giveaways on the season, Phil. 14 picks. He's lost 6 fumbles, but he's thrown 24 touchdowns.
Yep, Jay Cutler, I think he's going to have some time to throw this football tonight. He's got to be sharp. He's got to just manage the game, know the situations, and do better than we've seen in the past. They built this offense around him. He's got to take advantage of it.
2nd and 8. Fakes to Forte and hits the former Cowboy, Martellus Bennett, short of the first down. You know, you talk about Cutler. Cutler's played the Cowboys twice in his career. Both of those occasions down at Dallas. He won both starts. Threw for 5 touchdowns total, no picks. And this is a team that struggled at the start of the year, losing the first 3 home games. They've won their last 2. Cutler missed the matchup again a year ago against Dallas when the Bears prevailed. 3rd and 2 from the 15. Going to go up top for it. They're going to get it. Brandon Marshall stretching out just in case. He was shy of the mark, but he was well past it. Gain of 4 for Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, really good by Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall. It was tight coverage on the outside. Sterling Moore, the extra defensive back. And the Bears love this. You know, you can play a little bit of a tendency. If it's 3rd and 5 or less, they love to throw these short routes to these big receivers. And why not? Good throw and catch.
Josh Morgan is in as an extra receiver on the left side. On 1st down. Forte has the football up the middle, and the Cowboys have that area completely covered up. And a loss of 2, maybe 3. Well, Cutler, I mentioned the giveaways this year. 2nd most picks thrown in the league to the rookie Blake Bortles down in Jacksonville. He's lost the most fumbles.
Well, what they did, Jim, you see those turnovers. They've hurt this team, but they paid him. He's a franchise quarterback. He's got to go out there and perform in good and bad situations and kind of lead this team. That's just one of the reasons why they're 5-7.
Here he tosses it on 2nd and 13 to Forte. And he's got Rolando McClain holding him down to a gain of about 5.
Now the big thing for this Bears offense here tonight, they want to really control the ball. Why? Well, they're going against a Cowboy team offense that can really do that. So they want to protect their defense. So don't be in a hurry to run these plays. As you've seen it now, they're staying in the huddle, not trying to go hurry up. And the biggest thing of all, they've got to find a way to get Matt Forte, a valuable weapon back there, to get him involved in the game, let him be productive.
You saw Mark Trestman. He calls it the 36-minute plan. That's what he'd like tonight. 36 minutes time of possession. Cutler down the field. What a near catch by Jeffrey, and it draws a flag. Brandon Carr is furious that a flag was thrown. For a moment, it looked like Jeffrey was going to make a tremendous catch.
Well, you know, look, it's tough. Defensive backs, it wasn't a
Pass interference defense, number 39. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
You know, you can almost practice this down in the NFL. A guy's running his one-on-one coverage, which we have on the outside. Jeffrey against Brandon Carr, nice little weave. But once you get past him, you can have, if it's underthrown, it's almost automatically going to be pass interference.
On the field for the Cowboys for the first time in over 2 years is Josh Brent. That's a 29-yard penalty. Brent coming in for his first play. He was suspended the first 10 games of the season, then inactive the last 2 games. And the Cowboys, Scandrick in right off the handoff exchange and a loss of 6. Well, the Josh Brent story, the Cowboys anxious to get him back on the field. Of course, you know the story. In all likelihood, convicted of intoxication, manslaughter, sentenced to 6 months in jail, 10 years probation for a drunk driving accident back in the 2012 season that led to the death of his best friend and teammate, Jerry Brown.
180.
He's number 95 on that defensive front for the Cowboys. 2nd and 16. Cutler got it away down in the direction of Marshall, and that was Terrell McClain, who was right at his feet when he threw it.
Well, it's really a good job by Jay Cutler getting rid of the football. The protection is not there. He has to get rid of it. That's okay. The first play, Orlando Scandrick going in the backfield and getting the tackle. Nobody there to block him. That's a play you must check out of. It put him in a very tough situation because of that run.
Yeah, that run. Loss of 6 makes it now a 3rd and 16. Stumbling catch, Bennett. And that's going to be only for 4, so still be 4th and 12 for the Bears.
Well, it's a screen outside to the tight end, not well executed. Wasn't going to pick up the first down anyway, but the Bears, what they did do, they changed field position. They took some time off the clock, and they can back the Cowboys up with this punt.
Patrick O'Donnell is the Chicago punter, the rookie from the University of Miami, Florida. There were a lot of bodies around him when he launched that one. That is down at about the 12. He got a flag down. Sonoris Perry was the one down there to field it, to down it after a 40-yard punt. See what Ed Hockley and his crew.
The wind looks like it's died down a little bit. I was down there before the game, and man, 2 things. Of course, I'm not dressed to be down there, but it was cold and it was quite windy.
How about the field conditions?
They were the field is as fast and as good as I've ever seen it in any games we've ever done here, which I'm sure the Cowboys are happy about.
Number 32 of the kicking team went out of bounds, came back in, and was the first to touch the ball. That's a 5-yard penalty. It will be enforced from the end of the run. Dallas's ball, first down.
Sonoris Perry, the one we mentioned, who had down the punt. So the Cowboys will still start this next drive shy of the 20. All right, Tony Romo, I mentioned Burlington, Wisconsin, just north of the border. Grew up a Packer fan, not a Bear fan. And boy, he was a talented all-around athlete who then went about 188 miles south of Soldier Field to eastern Illinois. Never went to a Bears game in person at Soldier Field, but he saw the Bears play back in that 03 season when they renovated Soldier Field. When they played down in Champaign, he attended a game.
Yeah, what game was that? Who was playing? Brett Favre,
yep.
Green Bay Packers.
Here's a 1st and 10 with Murray. And again, they run it with Murray 67% of the time on 1st down. Where he grew up, he says he was about 10 miles north of that invisible line where, you know, you become a Bear fan.
Right.
He was north of that, so he was a Green Bay fan growing up. So and he's got all kinds of friends and family, you know, in attendance here tonight. That's for sure.
Not as many as he used to have, because he gave away all the tickets,
yeah, right.
and they would come here and root for him, but they would root against the Cowboys and hope the Bears would win. So I think it's tough to buy tickets for those kind of things.
They bring Dunbar in, they fake it to him, they set up a screen to Murray. Following his blockers, he's got a 1st down across the 30. That was Travis Frederick out in front of him. Gain of 9.
Yeah, really well done. You know, they're a power running team. Jason Witten coming across the formation. And what they do to get away, and so you just can't always zero in on the runs. They throw some screens. They have some misdirection runs. And look at all those linemen out in front. Travis Frederick, the 1st-round center pick. Oh, he's overvalued. He has played wonderful for the Cowboys.
Yeah, here's Murray diving, getting what he can. Only about 3 yards available there. Tomorrow, Roger Staubach, the face of America's team, and Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers, who personified football in the Windy City. Back-to-back new episodes of A Football Life tomorrow starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
This Bears defense, they were glad they had a whole week to get ready for this game in the Cowboy offense because of the run game.
2nd and 7, and Murray darts right. And faces a collision after a gain of about 2, including DJ Williams. When you talk about scrimmage yards, rushing and receiving, we got 2 of the top 3 in the league here tonight in DeMarco and Matt. Le'Veon Bell, who's sandwiched in between them with the 2nd highest total 2 in rush yards for Bell. But Murray needed coming into tonight 573 yards rushing over the last 4 games to become the 8th player ever to reach 2,000 yards in a season. Possible. He's going to get put up a monster performance or 2 this closing month. Cole Beasley is in for the Cowboys, 3rd and 4. Pass high for Witten, who was open at about the 47.
Yep, the blitz just made Tony Romo hurry up just a little bit, and that's the reason why he was off target with the throw. He felt the pressure. Stephen Payas coming in untouched to get him, and the throw was high. So the Bears not sitting back, taking some chances, 2 blitzes, and both have worked.
Chris Jones. This punt was a pooch punt. This one he can try to belt it. Mariani is back there and does not make the fair catch, so he's got a Cowboy on him right away. C.J. Spillman down there to make the immediate hit after a 46-yard punt. No score. 1st quarter. Next Thursday, we're going to visit the NFC West Division. We're going to be in St. Louis for the 1st place Cardinals against the Rams. Thursday night football, 8 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. Every game on Thursday this year, except for the first one, Green Bay at Seattle, and this one, have been divisional games.
Bears got to stay patient and try to run this football and get this offensive line being more aggressive and powerful. It's a good offensive line. Take advantage of it.
From the gun, Cutler dumps it underneath the coverage to Forte, who is the top running back by receptions in the league. That's his 79th reception of the year. It goes for 5.
Well, I know this. I talked to the Dallas Cowboy defensive coaches, and the first thing they said, what's the biggest key to win this? Stop Matt Forte. That was it. Stop his runs. Rod Marinelli, defensive coordinator, stop the screen game. He goes outside of the tosses. We got to take him out of the game and make him just throw the football. Then they say, hey, then of course all teams have a much better chance.
Hey, fan it. Mark 55, be that.
5. Got an extra lineman in there in Leno. Passes behind Morgan. 3rd and 5 coming up.
That was a run play. Went for the easy completion outside. Didn't look that easy to me. Josh Morgan is at the line of scrimmage, but the defender is right there also. So even if he catches it, he's only going to get about a yard or so. So that takes away one run play, which I think, as I've said, I'm going to stay with all night. This Cowboy defense, 22nd in the league against the run. You can make it work if you stay with it.
So far they've run it 4 times. Going to throw it here on 3rd and 5. Cutler's pass. He slings it sidearm to Forte, but the Cowboys keep him short of the first. It'll be 4th and 1.
Good job, really good job knowing who you're playing against and knowing what they do. What was it, Jim? It's 3rd and 4, 5 or 6. What do we have? A lot of guys are going to run right up to the yellow line and hook up. Brandon Marshall goes past it. There's Matt Forte underneath. Good job by the Cowboy defense.
Jeremy Kane will snap it back to O'Donnell. And it looked like the Cowboys, either they got a hand on it or O'Donnell just the pressure only was able to get it 21 yards. Bruce Carter was right there. Yeah, there wasn't appear to be any contact with the football. Cowboys take over near midfield. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Miller Lite. Back in its original look, it's Miller time. And by Madden NFL 15. It's Madden season in stores now. The Field Museum of Natural History. Jim Nance back here with the old fossil Phil Simms and Tracy Wolfson. And there was a block here, Phil.
Yes, Bruce Carter did get it. That's why there was no penalty against the kicker. You can run into him once you've blocked that punt. Change field position. That was a big play for the Dallas Cowboys.
At first glance, I was wondering why there wasn't a flag, because there was contact. From that angle, you could clearly see Carter did get the block, and the Cowboys, the drive starting at the 49 with Murray getting a running start that time for about 6, running behind the rookie Zach Martin. We talked about the Cowboys, and you tipped their hand early about how often they run it on first down.
Well, look at those numbers. Rushing attempts, the yards, 5.1 on first down. When everybody in the NFL knows you're probably going to run it. And a good example of that last play, you said it. Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, awesome in the run game, and a good cut by Murray.
2nd and 4. And open is Murray. And McClellan pushes him out of bounds. First down for the Cowboys. There was a strategy, Jason Garrett and the Cowboys, how to develop this team, and it really has been about commitment to the running game. That's been in place, they say, 3 to 4 years. Look at all the first rounders here.
Well,
3 of them.
It's Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, all first rounders. So Jason Garrett played on all those great teams for the Dallas Cowboys where they can run the football anytime they wanted, and they're kind of reenacting that, and they're off to a very good start with those 3 first rounders.
There's Murray. What a neat cut that was. Before Conti comes over and hits him sideways. That's a gain of 8.
What a cut by Murray. Look at, nobody can get off the blocks. Again, Travis Frederick gets a nice block inside.
Goes for 8. DJ Williams is down on the field, the Bears linebacker. We'll be right back. DJ Williams actually jogs, half sprints to the locker room. And then there was this hit, Conti on Murray.
Well, what did DeMarco Murray say to us last night? Here's the guy that carries the football as much as anybody in the NFL. He goes, well, I don't take any big hits. I don't get hit hard. You don't hear that too often from a running back in this league.
And he says it's the best he's ever felt. Here he is in week 14, getting the carry again, getting the first down. And he runs off that right side behind Zach Martin. That'll run out the first quarter, a scoreless first quarter. We'll return to Chicago after these messages. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Numbers, first quarter, all the Cowboy yardage coming from either Murray or Bryant. Murray with 60 total yards. Cowboys driving as we start the second quarter. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, and Tracy Wilson. Mike Carey with us as well. Here's Romo in the pocket. He's got time, and now he's trying to spin away. Going to dump it off to Murray. As Witten out there trying to clear some space, but it's good for only 2. Christian Jones, who came in for DJ Williams, made the tackle.
Yeah, really nowhere to throw the football. They're trying to catch him off guard with some first down passing. If he'd have thrown it quick to Des Bryant, but he was looking deep down the field and nobody was open. So trying to take advantage of, if you look to the left side, nobody's open. If he had thrown it, you can see the safety Conte had it. Good job by the Bears. Trying to keep also, by throwing it every once in a while, you keep Tony Romo in rhythm, makes his job easier.
2nd and 9 is back to Murray. Look at Murray slicing through that Chicago defense and running behind James Hanna. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Look at what he's doing here. These numbers needed per game. Well, he's averaged 87 yards rushing per game. The single season Cowboy rushing mark, of course, belongs to the all-time rusher in the history of the game, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt's best, 1,773. Murray tonight started within 346 yards of that with 4 games to play. And Murray's had touches the last 6 snaps. Dallas faces 3rd and 1. The Bears defense plugs up the middle. And what will Dallas do on 4th and a half yard?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. If it's, we'll see a mark. You can ask for a measurement to find out if it's a foot, 2 feet. That'll help Jason Garrett make a better decision. But that time, Ryan Mundy, the safety, at the line of scrimmage, it was a run up the middle. He had diagnosed it quick, got in there, and helped make the tackle. So good job by the safety, Mundy.
They do call for the measurement.
Yeah, it's going to be short.
Now what will Jason Garrett do with 4th and more than a half yard, close to a full yard?
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it, of course. Not of course. I think he will, because his defense, Chicago's offense, has shown no life so far. So it always helps you as a head coach making these decisions. And they're the 3rd best running team in the NFL. At times, you dominated the line of scrimmage here tonight. Play action passes, moving the quarterback, usually work in these situations because defenses expect you to run the football in between the tackles.
That Des Bryant, top of the screen, 4th and 1. And it's Murray, stutter step move, and easily picks up the first down. Down to about the 9.
Yeah, good formation. What they did, putting 2 tight ends to the right side, it meant the Chicago Bears couldn't crowd the inside of the defense. So right away, Tony Romo looks at it and goes, well, we got 1 defender over the center and 2 guards. The right place to run it was right up the middle.
They ran right between their first-round picks the last 2 years, Frederick and Martin.
Yeah, Zach Martin, a lot of talk. Oh, they might take Johnny Manziel with that pick, and I'm sure they did think about it. That's what we kept hearing, but it has worked out great. Zach Martin has been terrific as a rookie at right guard.
1st and goal. And Murray leaps ahead. Past some initial contact, picks up 3.
That's a typical run. As you watch the Cowboys, Jim, they have, you want to call them like ugly runs. And their ugly runs get 3, 4, and 5 yards many times. Tyler Klutz, he's a fullback. Watch number 44 as he comes up in there. Oh, gets Jared Allen, just knocks him out of the way.
13 of the 20 Cowboy plays to this point have been running plays with Murray. Plus, he's caught 3 passes. 2nd and goal. They fake to him here, go to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Conte comes over to help out Fuller on the coverage of Des Bryant.
Tony Romo was looking left all the way. He made a little pump fake. And since he was looking left the whole time, it got Conte going towards you.
By the way, a flag came in on the back end of that, Phil. from the near sideline.
That hit looks clean. Visconti's shoulder led to the body.
There was no foul for offensive pass interference on the play. It's second down.
No, it's actually third down. It is 3rd and goal at the 6.
Well, the Bears love to play. They do play man-to-man coverage a lot down in this area. So if you think it's man-to-man coverage, you got Des Bryant out there. Tough to cover him one-on-one. And he's got it to the top to Tony Romo's left.
Shout something in the direction of Terrence Williams on the right side. And on 3rd and goal, at the goal line, the catch is made, but he's kept out of the end zone. Cole Beasley stopped about a half-yard short.
Yeah, the good thing is they stopped him short. The bad thing is it's close, and they're going to go for it. It was great disguise by the defense. Does he get in? I don't think he gets in, as I saw it live.
Well, the Cowboys are going to go for it, as you suspected. Here's a good look at Beasley right down the line.
No, he never gets in, so it was a terrific mark. Same formation they used on 4th down earlier. Now they have 3 tight ends.
4th and goal to Murray, to the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas Cowboys.
Again, you got to sell out. The Bears didn't. 3 tight ends to the right. The formation favored the Dallas Cowboys, and a good play call. Watch it down the line of scrimmage. They just wash it down inside, and DeMarco Murray does what you have to do. Hanna, Witten, Escobar, all 3 tight ends get blocks, and you knock them down, and the running back makes one guy miss. I think that was Ryan Monday, and you get in the end zone.
So they drive 51 yards after Bruce Carter got a hand on the punt. Murray takes care of 46 of the 51 yards, including the final half yard for the game's first score. Cowboys ground and pound early and lead at 7-0 second quarter. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Fitbit. Energize your day with Charge, the newest activity tracker from Fitbit. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. 7-0 Dallas on a Murray touchdown run. They convert twice on 4th down, and you see the cable cam tonight presented by Mazda. 2 4th down conversions, including the touchdown.
Yeah, how about that? The Cowboys, you know what they're going to do. No secret. DeMarco Murray, 14 carries already.
And Bailey kills that one through the back of the end zone. Let's get an update on DJ Williams' injury from earlier. Tracy Wolfson.
Well, guys, you saw him walk off the field. They reviewed the hit on the monitors down here, and then he jogged into the locker room where he is now being evaluated for a concussion. Jim?
There you go. I think he was trying to tell everybody that he felt fine as he half sprinted to the locker room, but he must go through the protocol.
Yep, he must. And I'll say this crowd, it's on this, sitting on their hands. The offense of the Bears has got to give this team, the stadium, life. The strong point of this team has got to be the offense. They got to start controlling the ball.
They're going to come out throwing to start this drive. Over to Forte. Skandrick got enough of him to get him off balance and eventually fall after a gain of 5. You may have seen it. They've scored 3 points, this offense, in the last 4 quarters. We were with this Bears team on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit, and the Lions won that game 34-17. But this is a Chicago team, again, so much talk about their offense. They've not scored 30 points in a game this year.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. You just would expect they get some of those big plays to get those extra points. Not sustaining drives, turnovers, penalties. They've done it all.
Most they scored in one game today was 28 against San Francisco on the road. 2nd and 5, and Cutler down the field. What a catch! Juggling and eventually reeling it in, Brandon Marshall. Even he gets a chuckle out of that. Gain of 42.
Well, you know, look, it's Brandon Marshall. Just goes right up between the receivers on a seam. An excellent throw, and boy, he stays with it, caught it with his fingertips. Stays with it. Nice job of keeping his eyes on the football. And look, that's what they need. They need big plays. Brandon Marshall, Jay Cutler, Matt Forte. When the opportunity's there, you got to take advantage of it.
They had 25 yards, the Bears offense, before that 42-yard gain. They go back to the ground with Forte. Spins out of bounds. Gain of 4. Brandon Marshall, you've been working with him on Inside the NFL this year. And he's quite good. And we had a chance to talk to him about some of the acrobatic catches we've seen around the league this year, including one that he had in the end zone at the aforementioned San Francisco game.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he said there were some other great catches. Of course, he liked that. But Brandon Marshall knows that he has to come through for this offense every single week. And, you know, he gives the offense a little charisma, a little personality. I think they need that.
Whistles first. And a flag out.
Five-yard penalty. It's second down.
Yeah, Brandon Marshall, he's feeling as healthy as he has at any point this season. This one we were talking about, how he pulled that one down. We asked him, how did that compare with the Beckham catch? He said, you know, I got to give it to him. That's the best I've seen. But he's got another good one here tonight to be proud of.
Well, you know, he was frustrated, of course, about this team, about the offense. He figured the offensive line, Jay Cutler, second year, they thought this offense was going to explode. And, of course, it didn't happen.
2nd and 11, they were coming in on him. It was McClain, Rolando McClain, who was blitzing up the middle, so Cutler dumps it off to Jeffrey for a gain of 4. How about Rolando McClain and how suddenly his career has been resurrected?
It's amazing to watch him play. He doesn't even look like the same player we saw with the Oakland Raiders. He's in tremendous shape. We met him last night, and he is built to be a middle linebacker in the NFL. Has, you know, got great chemistry, body language, plays hard, and of course, most of all, he makes a lot of plays.
He says he's just ecstatic to be back playing football. After it looked like it might have been over, it might have been just a big bust after being the 8th pick in the draft by the Raiders. Here's Cutler down the field and bouncing off the hands of Bennett. And Church makes sure everyone knows that's incomplete.
Well, he took a shot to go down the field and throw it to Martellus Bennett. Church, very good defender, having an excellent year for this defense. He did have crossers open to maybe pick up the first down. Instead, he elected to go down the field for the big play. And I think you're in that area. This is into the wind, going this way. And I think this was the right decision. Go for it on 4th down instead of trying a long field goal.
So Jay Feely does not get a chance to come out and try his first field goal as a Bear. Now his 6th team in the league. They're going to go for it, 4th and 7. And Cutler stands up, zings it down to the 15 for the first down. And it's Marshall again with the catch. And the Cowboys immediately, Church indicates there might be a need for some help as Marshall's down on the field. Marshall in pain after holding on to that catch for the first down. And we'll step aside. Brandon Marshall just now getting up after taking a hit in the back, the lower back, by Barry Church of the Cowboys, who inadvertently delivered a knee.
Full speed. You think doesn't look like much when you watch it in slow motion. Put that in full speed, and I'll tell you, that was flush to Brandon Marshall's back. Good job going up and get the catch. When you play that type of defense against the Chicago Bears, you're going to play zones. This offense is built to pick that apart, and they didn't get to the quarterback, and Jay Cutler had plenty of time and found Brandon Marshall wide open.
Just when Marshall had told us it was the best he's felt in weeks. He goes to the sideline. First down, Forte, and a gain of 3. Tracy is down there. What can you tell us?
Yeah, right now they are looking at him. It looks as though they're going to take him to the locker room, but I will get an update as soon as possible. But just the respect that both of these teams about the league has for Brandon Marshall. You saw him out on the field, and then as soon as he got back up, all the Cowboys with a round of applause for him as he stood up, and then of course the officials as well, and everyone, just such respect for Brandon Marshall. I'll get you an update as soon as I can.
Thanks, Tracy. 2nd and 7. Marquise Wilson replaces Marshall in the lineup. Here's Cutler to the end zone, and a touchdown! Martellus Bennett. And this one has to be extra satisfying for him, the former Cowboy, drafted into the league in the 2nd round by Dallas back in 2008.
Yeah, Dallas trying to disguise their defense, but it's another zone. He goes right up the seam. Look at everybody running, trying to get to their spots. And sometimes when you disguise your defense, nobody touches the tight end going up the field. And you wait so late, you end up making a mistake. And Bennett was wide open.
Yeah, Bennett, who spent 4 years as Jason Witten's backup in Dallas. Extra point, Feely is good. So the Bears had a key 4th down conversion of their own. Cutler was 5 out of 6 on the drive. The 42-yarder to Brandon Marshall. Got it going. Pumped some life into the offense that led to the touchdown. Tomorrow on NFL Total Access, Demaryius Thomas on Denver's chances to get back to the Super Bowl. NFL Total Access tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. So Bennett was the backup to Witten. The Cowboys wanted to stay, but he says, you know what? There's such a strong chemistry between Romo and Witten. Bennett says, I'm going to the Giants, taking a little bet on myself. Look at this squid kick. Fumbled around and picked up by Wilbur, who's hit right away by Christian Jones. So Bennett went to the Giants for a year, then got the big contract to come here to Chicago, and he's been having another good season.
Well, Martellus, look at the route tree, what they're doing. You look up the field. If it's not Martellus Bennett, then you throw it to the crosser coming underneath. And he is wide open. Next gen stats showing you that. Kind of how it looks for a quarterback, how you know you look up the field, you look underneath, how you're supposed to read the pattern.
Cowboys from the 28 to start. Nope, flag first.
False start offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty is 1st down.
Called on Hannah. The Cowboys having lost to Philadelphia on Thanksgiving, falling behind the Eagles in their division. The Giants and the Redskins at 3-9. You look at the Eagles undefeated in the division. The Cowboys 5-0 on the road, 3-4 at home. Giants suffering through a 7-game skid. And the Redskins in Tampa, worst combined record the last 2 years, as Murray gets back the penalty yardage and 2 more. Gain of 7 as DJ Williams returns and makes the tackle.
Well, DJ Williams back in, and they need him. He is a good run stopper. He's played well for this defense this year. But the Bears defense, they got what they needed. They got some rest set on the sidelines, and you can feel, of course, the offense, they score a touchdown, a little more energy, and the Bears defense needs to take advantage of that.
So again, Williams was taken inside, independent exam taken. He passed the concussion protocol. He's right back out there making tackles. 2nd and 9. Over to Murray. Look at that cut. And yet another one. And again, he's so often, Phil, he's falling forward or sideways.
Always.
I like the way he just kind of moves through people and traffic.
As we talked to him last night, I think we both looked at each other and he goes, hey, I never take big hits. And, you know, it's kind of funny, but as you watch him and really study him, you realize he doesn't. He runs sideways a lot. And for a big man, how about these cuts? Fast and hard. He shook his hand. I'm going to tell you what, too. You wonder how could he ever fumble with the grip that he has.
3rd and 5. And the Cowboys pick up the 1st down. Des Bryant, look at all the Bears around him.
Well, 3rd and 5. They're going to go short outside the defender. Fuller way off of Des Bryant. Tony Romo, a veteran quarterback, is going to go right there and find the open guy.
Picks up 7 and a first down, 4th catch for Bryant.
Now, I know this is the way the Chicago Bear defense plays, but when I watch them, when they do get aggressive at the line of scrimmage and play man-to-man coverage, I think they're pretty good. I just don't think they do it enough.
Gonna run it with Murray. And you just called him a big back. He weighed 210 last night when we met with him at about 6 o'clock. And he told us by game time today he would be 220. He would gain 10 pounds in 24 hours. Now, how do you do that?
Well, I could do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, just eat a lot.
Okay.
But no, he doesn't. We saw him. He had a big meal just before he came in to see us. He said he was light, but he was going to drink, what, 12 bottles of water last night and at least 12 today before the game.
That'd be about 400 ounces of water in 24 hours. As again, the Cowboys are going to be set back.
False start offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty at 2nd down.
Well, the big thing is, Jim, I asked him, that extra weight that you put on there before game time, does it give you more power once the game started? He said, absolutely. So that weight is good for him. He can feel the power that comes with it, and he displays it during the game, of course. But, you know, you think I could put 10 on him right before the game?
Well, if you drank 400 ounces of water,
maybe.
Yeah, you could gain it. We'll also be making a lot of trips out of the booth. 2nd and 12. There they go back to Murray. Another beautiful cut. Murray out to the 47. And that's going to be 3rd and about 3.
They're unbelievable. You got to expect this. They're always working the down and distance. So it's 2nd and long. They're looking for a way to get into this situation right now. And that is 3rd and short. So they can run the ball here on 3rd and 4. It's a very short 4. And as we said a couple times, when you have Dez Bryant one-on-one on the outside, a lot of things you can do with him.
2.5 minutes to go in the first half. 7-7. Low snap. Romo from the gun has his target, has the first down. Again, it's Murray. His 6th catch goes for 5 yards.
Well, Tony Romo's playing the down and distance, so this is easy. He's going to throw it over the middle. But watch the receivers down here, and you be the quarterback. Everybody looks like they're open. Jason Witten coming across. Look at Dez Bryant down here, but Tony Romo didn't even take a chance. Goes for the sure, easy completion and gets the first down.
So the 2-minute warning has arrived. The Cowboys with a new set of downs and 3 timeouts to go. Cowboys driving, 2 minutes to go first half. DeMarco Murray has touched it 22 of 30 snaps and has 104 total scrimmage yards already.
Give it to the big guy. Give it to your star. And you know, when I was studying, getting ready for this game, I thought, well, DeMarco Murray with all those catches and carries, I'm going to see a worn-down running back. That was not the case. And you watch him here tonight, he looks as fresh as he did the start of the season.
From the 48 of the Bears, Romo. Back over to Murray. This is going to lose yardage because McClellan was hanging out waiting for it to come over this way. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, guys. You saw Brandon Marshall take a knee to the back area. They are calling it a rib injury. His return is questionable. He remains in the locker room. As soon as I get further clarification, I will bring it to you.
All right, Tracy, that knee just got in there just underneath the padding. And now the Cowboys letting the clock run with 1:20 and a 2nd and 15. To the sideline and over the head of Dwayne Harris with Jennings in the area. 3rd and 15 coming up. And also coming up, the Lexus halftime report. JB, Coach Coward, and Dion with the highlights and first half analysis on the Lexus halftime report.
That time the situation was played very well by that Bears defense. They played a little deeper with their linebackers, and Tony Romo had nowhere to throw that football as he looked down the field.
Jared Allen ready to apply some pressure. And a 4-time All-Pro. 3rd and 15. Romo gets the time and gets the tight end, Jason Witten. for the first down. They're 3 out of 3 on third down on this drive. That goes for 19 and a timeout, Dallas. Boy, they protected the quarterback that time, didn't they? And he found his old favorite target. Romo and Cutler each misfiring on only 3 attempts. Romo just hitting Witten with a big 3rd and 15 conversion. And a gain of 19 down to the Bears 34. Dallas with 2 timeouts and 1 minute and 2 seconds. Trying to break the tie before halftime. Quickly over to Bryant. Des Bryant's got another 8, his 5th catch now for 39 on the night.
Good job on the offensive side. What you're doing now, make sure you ensure the field goal to get closer, and then when you think you've got to that area, you take a chance and maybe go down the field.
2nd and 2, and down the field they go, and he was open. Over the head of Bryant this time.
Jim, let's go back to 3rd and 15 play. Why did it work? Why did it look so easy? Here's Jason Witten, top of the screen, going to run down there and do it. They got the exact coverage they thought they would get. Safety split. Bostic, the linebacker, on Jason Witten. And that's why they called the perfect play for the defense that they knew the Chicago Bears were going to play.
Now with 35 seconds to go and a 3rd and 2. Take the handoff. Go back to Witten for another conversion on 3rd down by the 12-year tight end out of Tennessee, right in front of Bostic. Timeout, Dallas, and another set of downs with 30 seconds to go. This one goes for 7. Cowboys this drive using the clock to perfection. 1 timeout, 1st down with 30 seconds to go at the 19 of Chicago. Converting their last 4 times on 3rd down.
Well, they get great practice at it. The Dallas Cowboys do, because you run the football, you're in a lot of 3rd downs, and if you want to win, when you run it, you got to be great throwing the football on 3rd down.
Here's Romo looking around, goes right down the middle with Murray, and they're going to hurry to the line and hold on to that 1 timeout. Picked up 6, but cost him time. Will he take a shot to pay dirt at the 4? It's Beasley, and he reaches across. Touchdown, Dallas. Cole Beasley was not going to be kept out of the end zone this time.
Well, it's the pass protection. It's the defense. Tony Romo knows it's a zone. He looks over the middle, doesn't like it, then has time to work outside to Cole Beasley, and he definitely broke the end zone plane for the touchdown. Looks like the knees are both up. So again, when you're playing zone defense, everybody looking at the quarterback, that allowed Cole Beasley to make that little move to the outside, which got him open. Tony Romo right on target.
Of course, fumbled the football after he had broken the plane. So 2nd touchdown of the year for Beasley. And the extra point by Bailey makes it 14-7. Dallas with only 8 seconds to spare before halftime. Cole Beasley knows where that end zone is this time. We're back with just 8 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter. Tony Romo has thrown the touchdown pass here to Cole Beasley. 17 of 21 in this first half.
Well, Jim, let's get another look at it. Here's Cole Beasley, kind of comes down and then moves outside. I want to look at it again just to see why it was so easy. They're looking back at the quarterback. The underneath coverage followed Tony Romo's eyes. DeMontre Hurst said, oh, the quarterback's looking down the middle. Maybe it's a short crosser. No, it wasn't. And that's what happens. When you play a veteran quarterback and you play those type of defenses, they're taught and trained to follow the quarterback's eyes. That's why when Tony Romo looks at the 2nd receiver, they're wide open.
Mariani hoping to have the chance to run one back, former Pro Bowler with the Tennessee Titans. And he watches that bound through the back of the end zone. So all the scoring here in the second quarter, Phil, what have you seen here?
Well, you know, I think that the Chicago Bears defense has to go inside and go, look, we had them in third down situations. We had them in third and long. You're going to have to change the way you're playing them, because I've said it many times, a really good veteran quarterback in Tony Romo is just going to exploit zone defenses. Now, that last drive by Jay Cutler, plenty of time. I like what they did on the offensive side. So this is one of those where it really holds true. You go in at halftime, you make some changes if you're the Chicago Bear, and you come out and give them some different looks in the second half.
The Bears have allowed the most second quarter points of any team in the league, and they gave up 14 tonight in this quarter. Coming up, the Lexus halftime report. JB, Coach Gower, and Dion with the highlights and analysis from the first half. Let's go down to Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Coach, a big score going into half, but how do you like how your team has responded after last week?
Oh, I think we played a good football game. I think guys are passionate about playing. I think you see that all over our team. Had a couple mistakes we had to overcome in coverage. Got to make sure we eliminate those big plays, but I like the spirit of our team.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jim?
All right. Thank you, Tracy. Jason seeing the passion he was wanting on that field tonight. Chicago will be receiving the second half kickoff. But through two quarters, 14-7 Dallas at Soldier Field. Back with the Lexus halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Murray to the end zone. Number to the end zone and a touchdown. Beasley, and he reaches across. Touchdown, Dallas.
Romo and Cutler each throw for a touchdown. Murray scores on a 4th and goal from just inside the 1. And Dallas leads it at halftime 14-7. Let's check out the performance moment of the first half presented by Mobile One. And it was the Romo touchdown with just seconds to go in the half. 8 seconds to go. In fact, Beasley's second career touchdown in competition against the Bears, that is, and overall his second of this season. And your take on what we're going to see here is the Cowboys, again, crucial game for them right now, trying to rebound off the loss last week.
Yeah, well, you see the Cowboys are sharp on the offensive side, so it's a lot of pressure, or a little pressure on the Bears offense to stay in this game, to keep the crowd, to keep their defense on the sideline and give them some rest. So it's important the Bears offense plays extremely well here in the second half.
Take a look at the first half numbers here. The Bears put together that 1 touchdown drive. They had been really stalled up to that point. And total yards, Dallas's advantage, 186 to 104. Murray on pace for about 130 on the ground. He got 65 on 16 carries, plus an additional 8 catches for 40 yards. Mariani hopes to get the chance to run this one back from Bailey. And he will. Mariani in traffic. Hanna finally wraps him up at about the 25. 30-yard run back. Look, Brandon Marshall has been taken away from Soldier Field in an ambulance after taking this shot in the lower rib cage area in the second quarter.
Well, the Bears, they look at those halftime statistics, 4 yards rushing. For a team that was hoping they could come in here and run the football pretty well, keep Dallas's offense on the sideline.
Well, they're going to run it here, Phil, and it's Forte for a couple. And let's get another update on even more detail from Tracy about Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, well, it was whether he was going to be taken to the hospital or not. The ambulances were ready at the end of that first half, and it looked as though during halftime they decided to put him into the ambulance. He walked in there under his own power. He was sitting up. He had some heart rate monitors on him, and as you saw, he is being taken to the hospital, obviously officially out for the game. When we get some more information on it, of course, we will bring it to you as quickly as possible. Jim?
Thank you, Tracy. 2nd and 8, and Cutler throws it low, incomplete, trying to connect with Wilson. That 2-yard run on first down gives the Bears now a total of 19 rush yards in the last 6 quarters, going back to last week when they had no ground presence against Detroit.
Well, that is alarming. Look what they did last week. They didn't try to run it last week, and I understand it against Detroit. And Mark Trestman, you know, we talked to him on Tuesday. He was really hoping this run game would get going, and sometimes it's hard to be patient.
3rd and 8 for Chicago. Dallas blitzing. Forte with the catch. And the first down. And the ball on the ground picked up by Church of the Cowboys, who gives it up over to Moore. Sterling Moore loses the helmet and all, but the Cowboys appear to have the takeaway. Forte had made one nice wiggle to pick up extra yardage and a first down, and then I believe he got hit by Anthony Spencer and coughed it up.
From behind, good hustle by Anthony Spencer, and he just gets that arm in there and gets it perfectly where he can just rip it out. It was a nice play design. It was a blitz. They hit a little block against Henry Melton. Forte released, wide open. But the good hustle, and that's what the Cowboy defense is about. They survive by just playing hard, doing the little things right, and hustling.
I'll tell you what, they might check to see if Church was touched when he made the initial recovery, if there was contact, because his knees were down. It could be the difference of about 10 to 15 yards. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. So look at the Henry Moore sundial over there. Beautiful views of downtown. And what about this? This looks to be as though there was never control by Church. So he couldn't have been down, and more than was able to catch it on the fly. Only Forte's second fumble.
The issue under review is whether number 42 of Dallas had possession of the ball and was touched down before he again fumbled the ball and it was further advanced. After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is Dallas's ball as ruled on the field. First down.
And Mike Carey, what do you have to say about that?
Well, remember, to recover a fumble, it has the same requirements as a catch. Clear control, which he did not have, and then the ball came loose. So the best thing to do would be to confirm that call, because it was clear he did not have control, even though there was touchdown.
So the first turnover of the game on either side sets up Dallas at the 31. And it's Murray for another 5. Murray with 8 catches in that first half. That's the most by any running back in the league in a first half in 2 years.
Watch the right guard. Martin, a good block. Tyler Klutz, nice block, and they just push it forward. That's why they're the 3rd best in the NFL. Simple run plays. They don't do a lot in the run game. They do a couple things. A lot of repetitions, and they do it well.
2nd and 5. Right back to him again. This time, Paya's there to stop it after 2.
Good job challenging the line of scrimmage, bringing the extra guy up, and it gets the Cowboys one more time in this 3rd down situation where Tony Romo, they actually missed a couple early in the game, but the last couple of drives, Jim, they're hitting all these 3rd and 5 and less.
Dallas with the game, 18 rushes, 22 pass plays. That's 21 passes and 1 sack. Romo sharp, 17 to 21. He's got Young after him. Escapes him, and now just able to find Beasley, who then finds the pylon. Touchdown, Dallas.
It's a great play by Tony Romo. Chris Conte mistimes his jump. They come with the blitz. They get an unblocked Willie Young at Tony Romo. And watch, Chris Conte just mistimed the jump. Gets caught in the air. What touch by Romo on the run.
Yeah, the right knee.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Might have been down before the pylon. Yeah, they're going to review it.
Touchdown.
Pretty amazing play, though, with the pressure on Romo to loft it just to perfection over Conti. And then Beasley, let's see if that right knee is down before the pylon. It's close. So here's what they're looking at. And he's down right there.
The ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
Well,
you didn't expect that, did you?
no, I did not. I thought he was short. I saw his shin was down.
All right, you're going to kick the extra point. We'll bring in Mike Carey for his take on that. Bailey, 38 of 38 on the year on point after tries. And what about it, Mike Carey? Did you think that was going to hold up?
No, if I was reviewing this, I would have called that short. Here is the key. The knee is down at the 1 yard line. We know that the ball was the first thing to touch the pylon, which is right on the plane. So it was not breaking the plane before that knee hit. You can see clearly the knee is down. The ball still has not reached the plane. I would have reversed that to about the 1/2 yard line.
Well, the way the Cowboys are running the football, I don't know if it makes a difference, but you never know in the NFL. That's why you review them. It's close. But what a play by Tony Romo. And finally, the Bears get a free runner again at Tony Romo, and he makes the play that takes advantage of the blitz.
Second touchdown pass by Romo in a span of 2 minutes and 36 seconds, going back to the end of the first half. Both of them to Beasley.
Of course, I've talked about in the first half, you'd like to see the Bears defense be a little more aggressive. They were on 2nd and 3rd down, and it didn't work.
24-yard touchdown. It ends up being for Cole Beasley. And the Bears have now allowed 29 touchdown passes this season, which already ties the most they've ever allowed in any one year. Back in 2009, Mariani, the returner from 3 yards in the end zone, and he is walloped and pushed back at about the 14. Harris was in there, Lawrence and Pellerin.
That's Cole Beasley, Chris Conte, man coverage, breaks up the field. Conte's all over it. Then you see the pass, next-gen stats. That was just a terrific adjustment by Cole Beasley. And, of course, Tony Romo doesn't move outside the pocket as much as he used to, but very clever in the pocket, spins out. That time comes out to the front side and made a terrific throw. Tony Romo talking to us last night about when he's feeling good, which he does tonight, how well he is throwing the football. We've seen that.
There's Forte for one. Selby needs him quickly. We have Jeremy Mincy of the Dallas defense mic'd up. Let's listen in.
Hey, good drive, oh, good drive. My man. Good drive, Whit. Hey, that offense, man. They play like that, keep us off the field like that, man. I'm telling you, we beat anybody.
That's what I was going to say. Hey, you fired up as a defensive player for the Cowboys because his offense can control the football.
180!
Second and 9. They toss it over to Bennett for another short gain. It'll set up 3rd and about 4.
Now you look at the Bears offense, the fact that they're not running the football and are not doing it well, it puzzles me because you look at this offensive line, yeah, it's not the best in the NFL, but it's got the makings of one. Over time, maybe one more really solid run blocker. They could be, I think, just like the Dallas Cowboys.
Forte, the second all-time rusher in Bear history. 8 carries, 8 yards. 3rd and 5, and a first down catch with a flag down. Bennett makes the conversion, but let's check the flag. Cowboys say it's going to be against Chicago.
Holding, offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Michael Ola, the left guard, takes the first down off the board.
Yeah, they've been good at this year too, stopping drives with penalties. Number 70. Well, he gets overpowered. It was a little game. They were running, switching places, the defensive lineman, and they caught Ola off balance. But we saw it in Detroit last week, Jim. 2 drives looked pretty promising. Big penalties, stopped it, put them in situations like this, not able to overcome it.
Well, this is what Trestman talked to us about. Coach talking about turnovers. And that's called an incompletion as Henry Melton, the former Bear, able to knock that one down, setting up 4th and 15. I wasn't sure if that wasn't that was a forward pass.
Well, I think it was going forward, but boy, good job by Henry Melton, understanding they like to throw a lot of screens in those 3rd and long situations.
Well, if it was going forward, it was by fractions, and a flag again.
Five-yard penalty, it's 4th down.
Yeah, it's going forward. By, a foot.
Not a lot, but enough.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing, the Bears, they had chances in this game early. We could see there was some opportunities, but if it's not perfect, you got to be able to overcome that. And tonight, not able to do it so far.
O'Donnell to Harris. Regains his footing. Flag is down as Harris takes off. Harris takes off to the end zone, but there's a flag back at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, it's a clear block in the back.
During the return, block in the back by the receiving team, number 31. It's a 10-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. Dallas keeps the ball after enforcement. First down.
There it is, Micah Pellerin. And the Cowboys will start on their own side of the field. A lifelong dream becomes reality. Find out which prospect found his way onto an NFL roster. Season finale of Undrafted, Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or catch the special advance premiere tonight after the postgame only on NFL Network. And we have an undrafted player making a difference in this game. Cole Beasley out of SMU with 2 touchdowns.
Made a big play against the Giants a couple weeks ago that brought him back from behind.
First down, Dallas. As Romo has all kinds of time, and he's got a man open, and Bryant pulls it down at the 12-yard line. Right between Fuller and Conti for 44.
Well, this is something when they do it. Watch the in cut from this side. Des Bryant going straight. Tony Romo doesn't know who to throw it to because they're both wide open. Williams going across the field's open. And Des Bryant, that's what you do when you have these type of receivers, or a Des Bryant. You throw it up and they go up in the air and just attack the football. Made that look easy, didn't he?
Boy, the athleticism, though, how high he got up to pull that one down, and the Cowboys that quickly down to the 13. Murray has the edge and out of bounds near the 5.
I was going to say to you, Jim.
There's Bryant since 2012 has the most touchdowns in the league, 35. One ahead of Jimmy Graham and Demarius. And there's Brandon Marshall, 4th on the list, 31.
One looked easier. Des Bryant's catch or DeMarco Murray going around the corner. That looked pretty easy, too.
2nd and 2. How about Murray again? Murray, stiff arm, running out of space. And that time he took a hit.
Sure did.
And I'll tell you, Klutz didn't like it. So he comes over and throws the Bear defender to the ground. No flags through all of that.
Well, I like that from the Bears. You know, you got to go out there and you got to turn this into a fight. The offense puts you in the hole again. what do you got to lose? You got to play on the edge. You got to let it go.
DJ Williams. Tyler Klutz came over to defend his teammate. So the Cowboys 3rd down now can pick up the first at the 3. They've hit their last 5 3rd down opportunities. Escobar wide to the left. But Romo looking right. Now looking back at the end zone. He's got his man. Touchdown Dallas. It's Escobar.
Holding on the defense.
Oh, there's the flag.
That took, how long did that take?
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense number 39. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
On the outside, Gavin Escobar, he's looking inside. Look, there's the holding by Al Lewis Jean. But the back of the end zone line, that's always a place defenders forget about. Great job by Tony Romo finding the last receiver.
And the Cowboys open it up now, the 28-7. Des Bryant's catch set it up. Escobar's 3rd touchdown of the season. Well, NFL athletes grew up playing in communities all across America. Now through NFL Play 60, they're encouraging kids in neighborhoods everywhere to come out and play for 60 minutes a day. Learn how NFL stars played as kids. Find some great play ideas. NFLrush.com, Play 60.
Well, you know what we're watching here tonight. You see Tony Romo playing. You see this run game, the pass protection. They're going to prolong his career down there in Dallas. He withstood some tough years. And this offensive line is in shape. It's fun to play quarterback when you got an offensive line that's playing like Dallas is.
He's thrown touchdowns, 3 of them in his last 4 passes. This is Perry, Sonoris Perry. And the flags are raining down on the field.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 49. The 10-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. Chicago keeps the ball, 1st down.
Came right over the top. Anthony Walters.
Boy, and this Cowboy explosion has knocked the life out of Soldier Field. The Cowboys scoring 3 touchdowns in their last 8 offensive snaps. Romo finding the end zone 3 of his last 4 throws. Into 21 points in a 7-minute span. Low snap, Cutler to Jeffrey, who's had a quiet night after a 2-touchdown game at Detroit. Just his 2nd catch tonight. Again, the Cowboys came in, and we talk so often about how you live week by week, and fast conclusions, hard, fast conclusions are made around this league, and people were out to say Dallas is doomed again after the way they played against Philadelphia on a short week. 1st and 10, and Cutler's pass deflected at the line.
I'll say this, when you look at that playoff hunt, Jim, you think the magic numbers always try to get to 10. But when you look at it there could be a team that goes 10-6 and not make it this year.
That's right.
So you think the Cowboys, you look at that schedule and say, let's win 2 of the last 4. You might have to win 3 to ensure a spot.
Since 2008, this is the Cowboys' record. Not that October has been anything to brag about either.
Well, you know what I say? I just go, this is a different football team than those other ones.
Right.
This offensive line's better. They hustle more on defense. They're a good tackling defense. I think that too. They work on it hard and it shows.
2nd and 10. And Bennett's got 8. Let's go back down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. Chris Conte, who left last week's game with an eye injury, is now on the bench with a back injury. He is questionable to return.
Also had taken a shot to the head in the Lions game last week, so there was a concussion issue and that eye injury you mentioned. 3rd and 2, Bears. Offense has barely had a presence in this 3rd quarter. See if they can stay on the field. Cutler lobs it over the top, incomplete, but a flag is out. Trying to hit Wilson.
Holding. Defense number 32. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Results in a first down.
Scandrick called for this.
In the slot. Jay Cutler moves, and there was really the hold. He grabbed him as he took off and turned to make that second move. Cutler getting out of the pocket. When you look at Wilson, you know, they have some good hopes for him. He's maybe the fastest receiver they have on the football team. He's got very good hands. He was hurt, missed training camp. The Bears need a downfield threat.
He was on IR, designated to return with a clavicle injury. Just came back November 14th. Talking about Wilson. First down, and let's see, they're going for the deep threat to Wilson, and he's overthrown by a yard. You said, Phil, they hoped that he could give them a big vertical threat, and they went to him on the next play.
Well, they really need it. You know, they got big receivers. They need a guy that can really run, and if Jay Cutler throws this outside, he's going to run it down. But watch at the last bit. He has to turn back up the field. Good job by Barry Church getting there. But outside was the place you'd like to see that football go.
We're being told Conti, as he is escorted to the locker room, will not be returning in this game. 2nd and 10. Forte. Got 4. It's McLean on the tackle. With NFL Mobile, stream live a local Sunday afternoon and primetime games. NFL Network and NFL Red Zone right on your smartphone. Download today. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. The Bears now as a team in this game, 10 carries, 10 yards. Selby was in on Cutler. He's still on his feet as he throws it in the direction of Morgan. It's Crawford, actually. Crawford and Mincy wreaking havoc in the backfield for the Bears.
Yeah, quick 98. Boy, Tyrone Crawford does an excellent job of just making that first guy. The offensive line moved him with the power move, gets inside. Jay Cutler tries to get away, not able to do it.
So the Bears are forced to punt. O'Donnell's 4th of the night. And a fair catch by Harris. 28-7 Dallas. Inside 6 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile. As you look at Lou Malnati's oldest family name in Chicago-style pizza. Never been an anchovy guy. Here comes Murray for about 3.
Stephen Paya, inside defender there, number 92 for the Bears. He's been on quite a few tackles tonight. Been active. Had a solid year. When you look at this Bears defense, a lot of young guys over there. They're missing players. There's the Tony Romo's pass chart.
Well, the touchdowns, 3 of his last 4 attempts.
That looks pretty good too.
2nd and 7. There's Murray with his 9th catch, and it goes for a first down.
Well, they love that. 2nd and 7. Everybody drops deep. Tony Romo knows the score. They're in control. He is going to play it safe. And once again, DeMarco Murray just picks up the extra yards and what, Jim? Falls forward.
Got the feeling, talking to Tony last night, he would play well today. he felt so vastly different than he did with the short week going into the Philadelphia game when his back didn't respond.
No excuses about his play, but that was tough. Didn't react to the short rest.
And Murray's got a flag out. The 3-yard pickup. Bostic had hold of him.
You know, look at this Dallas offense. Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator last year, he ran an offense. This is call first.
Illegal hands to the face, defense number 21. That 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the run, and it results in an automatic first down.
Ryan Mundy.
Got the hands, see it up to the face against Leary, but Scott Linehan, offensive coordinator last year in Detroit, they set an NFL record for number of pass attempts. Now he comes down here to Dallas, and he said when he interviewed for the job, he knew they were going to try to build the offense just like this. Run first, throw second, worked very well.
Look at that effort by Murray. Murray inside the 30s, past 100 for the night. First opponent for the Bears this year to go over 100. 27 yards on that carry.
Well, just the inside blocking is a great run by DeMarco Murray. Jason Witten kept Jared Allen from squeezing down, so that lane was there, and DeMarco Murray gets through it. Man, I'll tell you, he looks fresh. I'm gonna start drinking more water.
Yeah, no kidding. Me too. Tell you what, it was like he was hiding at the start of that run.
But you know, he's a pro now. He knows how to take all these carries and not wear out.
Another 6. It's the 11th time in 13 games now he's had a 100-yard performance. That ties Emmitt Smith's team record.
Getting better at this too, Jim. Catching the football, the screen game. Or look at that. He goes sideways a lot. How about this? All the block down, make a guy miss, score the touchdown.
There you see how much he's actually run tonight.
Wow, that's pretty good.
To gain 132 yards. He's got 117 on the ground. I've got him for 166 scrimmage yards. As Randall comes in for him and finds the end zone for the touchdown.
Boy, that's beautiful. Yeah, you can yell at the Bears, oh, the defense is terrible. I don't care. That was tremendous blocking. How they drew it up. Nobody gets off the block. Watch every lineman. Good job by Leary getting up to a linebacker. And then good running backs make guys miss to pick up the extra yards. And boy, Randall looked pretty fresh himself.
Joseph Randall with his first carry of the night, 17 yards and a touchdown.
His second touchdown of the year.
That's the one thing about the Bears this year. When it starts going bad, it goes from bad to ugly in a hurry.
Well, a lot of reasons. First, let's look at this run. 65, Ron O'Leary gets up on DJ Williams. Good cutoff on the backside. Doug Free, good job. Shoot everybody. Wide receivers, they block down the field. And there's something about when your offensive line is this tough and good, it permeates through the whole football team. So the Dallas Cowboys, it's taken a few years to build this line back up to what we used to see. I'm not saying it's that same line that we saw win those Super Bowls, but they're gaining fast.
Boy, it is something else to see the way they open up holes for Murray, and in this case Randall, and then protect Romo. And Randall showing a lot of quickness coming in there, and somebody had to summon him back to the field for kick coverage.
You know, Jim, the strength of the football team is the offensive line, and it has truly carried them. It's done everything. It's helped the wide receivers. It's taken the pressure off of Tony Romo. It protects their defense, which, you know, it plays hard, but the defense doesn't have that one or two guys that could just make those spectacular plays to put him over the top.
An offensive line that's young and is in place for a nice run ahead. Mariani. And it's Harris on the tackle. Tonight's cable cam is being presented by Mazda. The Cowboys in this one, 28 unanswered points. And those 4 touchdowns scored by, well, Escobar, Randall, and 2 by Beasley. So you're not talking about Des Bryant in the end zone or Jason Witten or DeMarco Murray, who did score the game's first touchdown. But in this stretch of 28 unanswered, Cowboys getting a lot of production from the sources you don't always expect.
Well, you know, for the Bears, you know what you got to do? Somebody's got to speak up. You know, not yelling isn't always the cure-all in pro football, but somebody's got to be responsible and get this team going.
Here's Wilson, sidesteps a couple of Cowboys and is near a first. And when we were talking to Jay Cutler leading into the Lions game, we were talking about how they had just won 2 straight at home, and he said, you know, winning is contagious, but losing can be too. And in this case, it's like it gets contagious when bad plays, turnovers, penalties, allowing big gainers. They just keep coming. Floodgates are open. Forte, though, picks up the foot for the first down and a couple more.
Well, let me just say this, and Mark Trestman even said it. Look, they got a lot of guys that work hard, but they don't have that group of guys that speak enough to the team and really, inside the clubhouse leaders. So it's a hard-working team. He never complains about it, but there's not that one guy that can stand up and demand everybody raise their level of performance and get out of ruts just like this. This is when you need a guy to yell at some players.
Flipping it over to Bennett. You know, one thing about that, though, I look at a couple of guys who I think are pretty, I would think would be vocal leaders. Brandon Marshall, Jared Allen. You know, I mean, as Bennett is shaken up on the catch. Bennett a little gimpy as he heads to the sideline. And it could have been a whole lot worse, but you'll see his foot, his left foot slides a little bit. Yep. So it's not completely crushed under the weight of Rolando McClain.
He jogged a little bit as he was walking off. He could shake it off. It'd be sore as you can imagine tomorrow. But, you know, you go back real quick to what you were talking about. Jared Allen, he's trying to be a leader of this football team, be a little voice, have his voice heard. You know, Brandon Marshall, Brandon Marshall's not the guy that's going to stand. Listen, it comes down, your quarterback's got to set the tone for your football team. Even if it's not you got to change who you are and drive people forward.
Forte, with his best run of the night, he goes for 7 and a first down.
You understand what I'm saying, Jim?
I do.
We all do things we don't want to do, but sometimes you got to go out and change who you are for the betterment of the group, your offense, your football team, and this team is built around Jay Cutler, and he's got to lead it.
So they get a snap away before the end of the quarter. Quick snap down to Wilson, and Sterling Moore was a defender, but might be flagged here as we have a penalty marker down.
They were not ready on the defensive side. It was a good job.
Pass interference, defense, number 26. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul.
They thought the clock was going to run out.
Yeah, I think they duped, the Bears did dupe the Cowboys, and I think there would not be another play run. But that's the end of the third quarter. You're watching Thursday Night Football. A reminder, Week 14 continues Sunday on CBS and Fox, and you can check your local listings for the game in your area. So the Cowboys put up 21 in quarter number 3. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, and Mike Carey here on a comfortable night by December standards in Chicago. Temperature right around 30. Not too unbearable. You don't even have a coat on today.
Me? I don't? Yeah, well, I got a sweater that weighs 20 pounds on me, so that helps.
The Bears playing without Brandon Marshall, who was injured earlier in this game, rib injury, taken to a local hospital. Was right at the late stages of the second quarter. Coming off a Cowboy penalty last play of the third. We start the fourth with Cutler to the end zone. Jeffrey. Touchdown, Chicago. Gets around Brandon Carr to cash in from 27 out.
Yeah, Brandon Carr thinks he's in good position, but Alshon Jeffrey just puts his head down, keeps running. Excellent throw by Jay Cutler. Yeah, he's in bounds all the way, and Matt Forte did a good job picking up the blitz and giving Jay Cutler time to make that throw.
For Jeffrey, his 5th touchdown in the last 4 games, and Carr chagrin can't believe he gave that one up to Jeffrey, who's been dinged and limited with a hamstring injury, limited in practice this week. A full week of practice. You know, you don't normally have these Thursday games where you have a full week of practice. Both teams, though, coming off a Thanksgiving
That's right.
game.
Both thought they were fresh, prepared for the other team. The Chicago Bears, I thought they were pretty confident that they were going to play well here tonight.
Touchdown confirmed as Feely's extra point is blocked. Looked like Church came in. Skandrick was in the area as well. It was Church. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Vote for the Never Say Never moment of the week. And by Under Armour. I will. So look at the Chicago Water Tower. There is some major Christmas shopping going on within a few blocks of that historic site. The Bears score on the first play of quarter number 4. Missed the point after. It's blocked. And they try onside kick here. Ball still out. Looks like it might be Cole Beasley at the bottom of the pile on his night. Plus a flag.
Let football stay down. That's exactly what you wanted to do, because that's almost impossible to catch when you're getting down low, trying to figure out what kind of hop it's going to take.
Cole Beasley. Yeah, a few souvenirs he might want to take home tonight. Some game balls. But a penalty flag anyway, and it might have been offsides by the kicking team.
Yes.
In any case.
Offside by the kicking team. That's a 5-yard penalty that will be enforced from where Dallas recovered the ball. Dallas's ball, first down.
Oh, look how many, they're past the line before the football is contacted. And it's a clear recovery by Cole Beasley.
He is absolutely determined to try to smother that because he knows the Bears are coming and the scrum was about to ensue. Cowboys with the additional 5 yards.
Well, you got to expect run. Big lead by the Cowboys. They're running it well.
It's Murray into the secondary and taken off inside the 20 and finally tripped up at about the 8 by Brock Vereen.
Well, the good blocking up front, but they over pursue. Watch Bostic. He goes. Oh, here comes the cutback. There's nobody in that lane, and DeMarco Murray makes them pay. This defense coming into the game tonight, you think, boy, the Bears are not playing well on the defensive side, but that's the way it's been all year. 30th in points allowed, 26th overall in the total yardage against the defense. Not a consistent pass rush. But tonight, not stopping the run.
40-yard run. Going to give some of it back here. In fact, I want to see where they're going to mark this one.
I think it's going to be all the way back where he was tackled.
It's going to be a loss of 14.
But, you know, Jim, let's talk about this Bears defense real quick. Now, Lamar Houston, their big offseason acquisition, he hurt himself celebrating after a sack. They've lost Lance Briggs, maybe one of their best players. There's Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator. They lost Peanut Tillman.
Yeah, Charles Tillman.
So they lost him. So those guys, Brian Urlacher not here. Julius Peppers goes away in free agency. You know, before the season, I looked at the Bears. I didn't look at this defense and the personnel and go, wow, they could be one of the best. I thought they would struggle, even watching them in the preseason and what they had on paper.
2nd and goal. Romo all day. Now they close in on him, and he throws it over the head of Murray. And Romo hit the ground thanks to Will Sutton.
So, you know, you look at this, a lot of young players on the defensive side. So when you look at a team, you can almost put the parallels with the Bears and the Cowboys. The Cowboys survive a lot of things. They hustle, but their offense protects them. And on this, the Bears team, the offense has not protected their defense enough.
There's the former Cowboy,
yeah,
Jeremiah Ratliff, out with a knee.
Big loss to this defensive line. Run stopper, can push the pocket back.
3rd and goal. And Murray plows ahead, sets up a field goal attempt for Dan Bailey.
I don't know why. I just happened to be watching Des Bryant as he goes off the field. He is really upset because, hey, 3rd and goal. Let's give me one chance here to catch another football. But play it safe. That's the right play.
Well, he can be upset, but if you're Jason Garrett, you get to use up a little more clock. If you convert the field goal, you go from a 3-score game to a 4-score game. 35 yards for Bailey. And he's 20 out of 23 on the year. Sunday on NFL Game Day morning, Seahawks star running back Marshawn Lynch will open up in an exclusive one-on-one interview. NFL Game Day morning, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, only NFL Network. The Cowboys have now scored on 6 straight drives. Coming off a Dan Bailey field goal to lead it 38-13. Scrappy. Brought down by Randall, who scored a touchdown in this half. 12:27 to go at Soldier Field.
Welcome back to Chicago. No further update from down here on Brandon Marshall, but he did just tweet out, thanks for the prayers. I'm good. #mind over matter. That is good news, Jim.
It certainly is. You hold your breath anytime you see a player leaving the stadium in an ambulance, and that was the case here. He was hit on rib injury. I don't know what else they were looking at, as Bennett, who thought was banged up himself, and this is whistle dead. Bennett has the catch in a gain of about 7. When this injury occurred, Randall had just made a 42-yard catch, and then a key 4th down catch. And then that was it, as the Bears were on their way to tying the game at 7. And that's quite a catch by Wilson as Scandrick came flying in after him.
Boy, top of the screen, good route. Holds on to it after you said it. Scandrick reading the quarterback, chasing the football.
Cowboys have brought Josh Brent back on that defensive line. Again, saying his first action in over 2 years. Forte unable to get out of the grasp of Hitchens.
You know, Jim, I want to go back to Brandon Marshall. You know, he's on the show at Showtime with us, but we really don't get to talk a lot of football. But I like what he said to us the other day. Finally, he says, I understand the game, how to watch film, how to use my ability more on the field.
First down picked up by Forte. Well,
and he finds it
frustrated, angry that, you know, understanding the value of every single game and the opportunities and how fast and fleeting a career can be.
Been in the league 9 years, has never seen the playoffs. He thought this was the year. The quarterback, the coach, our line, that it was just going to be a big-time breakout year, and it hasn't turned into that.
Over to Jeffrey. And that was Carr tangled up with him.
You know, you look at this Bears team, though, and it's in this league, you're never too far away. I look at their offensive line. I think they're one offensive lineman away from being powerful enough up there where they can run the football and get back to control of the game like they did last year many times.
2nd and 10. And that's Scandrick tripping up Bennett.
But, you know, let's go back to what I had said about the Bears defense real quick. Hey, I don't know what their salary cap situation is. They got a lot of young guys who have to get better. But when you want to make an impact, okay, the offense has to come through, but you got to have somebody consistently get to the quarterback and make those plays to get you off the field. And right now, that guy is not on the field for the Bears.
3rd and 7. So trying to put together a little drive here. And again, with position, it was Wilson denying Moore the interception.
Tell you, Sterling Moore, Jason Garrett talked about him last week. He played the inside receiver in passing situations. They got him back outside where he's been, and look, even the Bears talked about it. Hey, at number 26, you know, I love talking to players. They never know the names of the guys they're going to play against. They just know numbers. The 26, Sterling Moore, has been solid this year for the Dallas Cowboys.
So the Bears at 4th and 7. Moore's going to go for it at this point. Down 25. And they get the first down with Jeffrey right in the middle of the field.
Tremendous pass protection by the offensive line. Good job by everybody just sealing it off. Jay Cutler gets the extra time. And then you see the talent, the power in the arm, throws it right on target.
Cutler 22 of 32 tonight. 2 touchdowns, no picks. And that's too low for Bennett. If you had to really boil it down to a couple of key plays, well, to lose the presence of Marshall, this is certainly a key play. And then the Forte fumble.
Well, that's 2. And then, you know, I can think, of course, other ones. 3rd and what was it, 14 or 15? Before half, they gave up
15.
3rd and 15. They gave up a 19-yarder to Jason Witten. Turned the game around, that touchdown.
Timeout called by the Bears. 9:06 remaining. You know, we were in our production meeting this morning, Phil, when we heard the news that was just impossible to believe. One of the great sports journalists in our time, Brian Burwell, passed away early this morning at the age of 59. Longtime columnist for, well, everyone from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch to USA Today, the New York Daily News, New York Newsday, Detroit News, a correspondent for Inside the NFL, survived by his wife Dawn and daughter Victoria, and our hearts go out to them. So sad to hear the news. Now Brian Burwell, 2nd and 10 here for the Bears, who put it into the hands of Forte, but a flag is out. I know you knew Brian from your days competing for the Giants.
Yeah, I did. Brian covered the New York Giants as a beat reporter for New York Newsday, and And the New York Daily News also, you know, had a good relationship with him. Kind of followed his career as he moved around from there. And, yeah, I was shocked, too, when I heard it this morning. Of course, very sad.
An eligible receiver downfield by the offense, number 75. That's a 5-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
Well, that's against Kyle Long. The screen took so long. Not a play on words there, but the timing was not good, and that's why he was down the field.
Second and 15. Cutler taking the snap from the 26. And it's turning into a busy night for Martellus Bennett, now with 9 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, just another good weapon. That's why the people in Chicago, people across the country, they look at the receivers, the talent, the size, and they're frustrated with the Chicago Bears football team.
3rd and 6. Down at the 3 and trying to fight for it. Bennett about a yard, maybe 2 out.
Good job by Jay Cutler, seeing that the defense, I think they made a mistake that time in coverage. He just ran down there, nobody around him. It was a zone defense. But man, Jay Cutler does see an opening. Not afraid to let it go, and a good throw.
I tell you, Bennett again looked like he had hurt his knee in the 3rd quarter. He's hobbling around, but he's got 10 catches on the night. At 75 for the year, he has just tied the Bears' tight end single season record. As Forte tries to go low, and he's got the touchdown. Matt Forte, touchdown Chicago.
Yep, reached out just before he went to the ground and got that touchdown. I know the circumstances have changed as you look at this game because the Cowboys had the big lead, but this was kind of how I thought maybe the Bears offense would look tonight, mixing it up, because the Cowboys lack a pass rush. In the opening, what we say, give Jay Cutler time. He'll make a lot of plays. Of course, going for 2 here since they missed the last extra point.
So down 19. Scandrick threatening the blitz. Bushrod points at him. 2-point conversion. Cutler. Ball's deflected at the line. But there is a flag in the end zone. Looked like McClain got a piece of that pass.
Holding, defense number 59. Half the distance to the goal, retry.
Well, since the ball was tipped, that doesn't matter when you talk about defensive holding.
You see McClain deflected.
That tip pass doesn't mean anything. Defensive holding, pass interference now, it would have meant something, but not against defensive holding.
The ball at the 1, they'll attempt it again. And it's Forte, second effort, driving, and he is pushed across by his teammates, including Ryan Groy. Forte gets the touchdown and the 2. 7:17 to go, and the Cowboy lead is 17. Well, we're back for, no doubt, Thiele's second attempt at an onside kick. Beasley is not out there for the Cowboy recovery team, and he's going to shift sides, come back to the same spot. High in the air, Escobar lost it. Bears have it. Dante Rosario, another former Cowboy, as Escobar jumped up to make the play, and it slipped through his fingers.
Let's see if he jumps up and takes his eyes off the football to see if he's going to get hit as he goes up in the air. Did that helmet come down too quick? Can't tell. The hop was perfect to reach up and grab it.
So hold your tickets. Bears at the 50 with 7 minutes to go. Forte, one wiggle, and Carter finally ends it after 8 or 9.
Said don't be impatient. I know Jay Cutler won't in this situation. You do need 3 scores.
Second and 1. It's dropped by Morgan. Now we've got a penalty marker.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 98. Crown of the helmet to the quarterback. 15 yards, automatic first down.
By the way, it's the last successful onside kick for the Bears since '03. And here was the occasion right here. A Paul Edinger onside kick. Jay Feely, first game as a Bear, and he delivers a successful onside kick. Look at Forte go down to the 10. Ran away from McLean and Carter both.
Yeah, he's an excellent receiver, Matt Forte. Of course, that fits in well with Mark Trestman's offense. This makes everybody a little uneasy on the Dallas Cowboys side.
Cutler slips through a little opening to the 5 and to the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Two touchdowns about a minute apart.
Boy, good job by Jay Cutler that time. It wasn't clean. Nobody open at the snap of the ball. It's man coverage. So when he got lucky, not lucky, very smart seeing the man coverage and running with the football. And down 17, you kick the extra point.
Last extra point try was blocked. This one is drilled. Where did this come from all of a sudden? Cutler. Touchdown, Chicago. 10-point game. Remember, Cole Beasley recovered the first onside kick, but was not out there when the Cowboys failed to hold on to the last one, and he stays on the sideline. We have 6 minutes and change. Do you onside kick it again, Phil?
I would kick it off and make the Cowboys offense get a first down or two. If you onside kick and they recover, it takes all the pressure off their football team and the offense.
Go onside kick again, and this time it's Des Bryant just climbing the ladder and bringing it down with another flag.
You understand what I'm saying? That it makes sense. Kick it off, put the pressure on the Cowboys offense to play. Now, no pressure recovering that kick.
Offside by the kicking team number 96. That 5-yard penalty is enforced from where Dallas recovered. First down.
Boy, after the Bears put up a second touchdown in a minute and 8 seconds, this was Orlando Scandrick coming to the sideline.
He is letting everybody have it. Offense, defense, coaches. And look, this is not out of character. Not that he throws these kind of fits or whatever you want to call it. He's a feisty, tough guy. Scraps, survived in this league. They try to replace him. You can't, because he's a good player.
I think I'd call it a fit.
Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, fit.
1st and 10, and cutting through an opening again. It's Murray down to the 15, right behind Zach Martin.
Well, that sure changed everything here. Up front, the double tight ends. Again, it's just Travis Frederick and Zach Martin, a second-year and first-year offensive lineman. Unbelievable job up front.
That gives Murray now 173 on the night. He's exactly 400 yards shy of the 2,000-yard season. A big night tonight has made it even more of a possibility. He needed to average about 145 the last 4 games. Again, he's at 173 and adding to it another 4, maybe 5. He's had 3 carries tonight of 25 plus. Jerry and Stephen Jones have to like what they're seeing these last couple of snaps after the Bears suddenly came to life with 21 points in the final quarter.
Well, we've seen them many games. When you show them, they've had to suffer through a lot of close games. So they're up there tonight enjoying it. It's a wonderful night. We're winning easily. And then a quick turnaround, 2 touchdowns by the Bears. That'll get your attention again.
2nd and 6 from the Chicago 12. Romo in no hurry. And it's Murray. Still looking very fresh on his 30th carry of the night.
Now just watch it. Leary, the left tackle, Smith. They just stay on the blocks. And even though it looks like there's nothing there to begin with, boy, great job by Randall getting through that hole quick. You over pursue, that's what this scheme is about. They call that the wide stretch. They get you going sideways. DeMarco Murray reads it, cuts it back.
Bill Callahan, former head coach of the Raiders, the offensive line coach for Dallas. 3rd and 3. Murray now at 180, the 2nd highest total of his career. And this time, maybe a yard. Tell you what, for the Bears, that's a big stop. That'll bring out timeout called here by Chicago. And
that's right, save the 40 seconds. Of course, Cowboys going to kick the field goal, and they will let the clock run all the way down.
But it still stays a 2-score game.
Yes, it does. That's right.
Well, the triplets of yesteryear, Hall of Famers, Troy and Emmett and Michael, how they stack up with the triplets of the Cowboys today in some of these statistical categories.
Numbers are close, aren't they?
They really are.
Of course, the big difference, that first set of triplets has 3 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah. That is a big one, isn't it?
That's pretty big.
Yes.
Gosh,
And again, all 3 are in Canton.
It just doesn't seem like, man, we're getting old. I'm thinking of those guys. It was like yesterday, and they were all retired. You don't have to agree with me, and I'm getting old there, Mike Carey.
A lot of heads shaking. Affirmative belief for that. There's a 27-yard field goal. Bailey, 90% kicker on his career. And back to a 13-point lead for Dallas. And we remind you, next Thursday, Larry Fitzgerald and the Arizona Cardinals will be taking on that tough defense of the St. Louis Rams in St. Louis. That's next Thursday night, NFL Network, 8 p.m. Eastern. The Rams have won 3 straight at home. Now they're going to be on the road this weekend at Washington. Arizona will be going against Kansas City this week.
It's going to be a fun game next week. Looking forward to that. Bruce Arians, get to see him out there in that Arizona uniform.
Here is the 3-man group for Dallas. I don't know what anybody's ever called them, the triplets. You know, I think that name's been retired with Aikman and Smith and Irvin. But look at Romo's numbers tonight. Sharp, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And again, Murray with his 2nd highest total of his career, 181. And Bryant with a 6-catch, 82-yard night.
Well, We have one timeout left by Chicago, 3:41, the 2-minute warning.
Mariani had a kick return for a touchdown at Tennessee in his career. Bouncing around, and Church rides with him out to about the 25. I'm looking forward to that game next week because Arizona, it's been a struggle here in recent weeks, and since they lost Carson Palmer. They got a big game coming up this weekend, but we will see them at the Rams, and that's not an easy place any longer to play in this league.
Now the Rams finally got that team in order, it looks like, especially on the defensive side, and they played with tremendous emotion, and especially in that dome in St. Louis.
180! Hurry up!
That's Morgan.
Boy, Martellus Bennett, number 83, came back on the field now. That ankle, he is limping quite noticeably.
2nd and 2. Lob it over the top. And with that catch, Bennett has the single season mark for a tight end. Most catches in a season in Chicago history. He just moved past Mike Ditka.
Yeah, that's impressive. Cowboys that time not ready still. Everybody talking, not lined up properly, nobody covering the tight end.
Well, he is limping, but he's fighting on with 11 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Jeffrey to the 45. Skandrick, who was imploring his teammates to buckle up on that defense after giving up that last touchdown. He was the one beaten on that play. Quickly to the line, and Butler again down the middle, and it's Jeffrey again right in front of C.J. Spillman.
So many throws, the defensive line of the Cowboys can get zero pressure on the quarterback, and Jay Cutler doing a good job of moving, getting extra time, and just another laser across the middle.
There's a flag in the area where Jeffrey was thrown down.
There was no foul on the play for hitting a defenseless player. He was a runner at the time. First down.
Bennett, he has to go to the sideline now as he has been beaten up in this game. Knee area, ankle. Butler's thrown for 171 in the quarter. That's going to bring out a flag on Brandon Carr, who's trying to hold off Alshon Jeffrey.
Are they going to call that the football was thrown too far over his head?
Jason says
there
not
was
catchable.
No foul for defensive pass interference on the play because the pass was uncatchable. By rule, there can be no penalty for pass interference.
Now, here's what bothers me about that call. Jay Cutler, the holding made it uncatchable, so he has to throw it away. And Mike Carey's making, but you understand what I'm saying? So the quarterback sees it. What's he got to throw it close to him, make it a tight play before you get the flag on the.
2nd and 10 is incomplete.
The ball was already in the air.
Third down coming up.
Well, Mike said the ball was already in the air. Top of the screen, Brandon Carr. There's the hold. Yep, football is over his head.
2:16 on the clock here. Bears with one timeout. Bennett has returned. He's at the top of the screen. And it's Forte. And it's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 4th and 2 coming out of the 2-minute warning. Coming up, the Mazda post-game show. Rich Eisen and the guys are going to wrap up tonight's game with highlights and analysis only on NFL Network. 4th and 2 coming up.
4th and 2. Cowboys have been playing it safe on these last couple of drives. I think there was one blitz. Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator. I'm going to guess, Jim, right here, 4th and 2, you try to win the game. You try to put pressure on Jay Cutler. The pass rush is not going to get there. They're tired. There's been too many throws.
Can you imagine how tight there will be, how tight people will be if somehow the Bears are able to score?
Oh, yeah, it's going to put on in a situation like this. I don't think you run the football. You pass it. If nobody's open, let the quarterback move around.
And a pass for it. And they get the first down with Bennett. Bennett just boxing out J.J. Wilcox, and the Bears still have life.
Yeah, they do. Time is still on their side. They still have the timeout.
First and goal it is, right at the 10. Cutler, end zone, intercepted! And that will do it. Orlando Scandrick is the one who comes away with the football.
Yeah, he went to that sideline, yelled at himself, but Orlando Scandrick, it's a seam throw. He underthrows it. Boy, it's really a tremendous job going up and seeing the throw and making the interception.
Cutler tried to connect with Josh Morgan, and Scandrick's second interception of the season, and it's a game ender.
Yeah, it's game ender. Josh Morgan, stay up the seam, throw it high in the back of the end zone. Really not that bad of a throw, but just a tremendous play by Scandrick.
You know what this means now? Win number 9 is just a few seconds away for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's been a while after a whole run of 8-8 seasons. There's Murray. And the Bears have one timeout. And they use it here. Cutler says that's on me. You know, Cutler on the season was 4-0 in games he did not have an interception. And he did not have one tonight until that throw a moment ago. They're going to be now 1-8 in games where he's picked. He throws for 341 on the night. But I want to get back to the Cowboys. On their way to their 9th win. And Jason Garrett, no one out there thought the Cowboys were going to have a winning season, much less contend for the division, contend for the postseason, for a berth in the playoffs.
After having one of the worst defenses in NFL history last year, you lose DeMarcus Ware. Sean Lee goes out with an injury during the offseason. You think, man,
Jason Hatcher.
But the preseason was ugly too, Jim. Just a casual fan, I watched their games. I thought, boy, they don't look sharp. Few good moments. Tony Romo, is he going to be healthy enough?
Plus Justin Durant just about 4 weeks ago. Another loss.
Captain of their defense.
Morris Claiborne in the secondary. The Cowboys have only one more home game the rest of the regular season. They've got what's now looming as a huge contest again at Philadelphia. They'll get the mini bye coming up after 2 straight Thursday games at Philly in the rematch of the Thanksgiving Day game. Home against Indianapolis, which will be there for the CBS National doubleheader game, and then close at Washington week 17. Cowboys 9-4 on the year and 6-0 on the road. The best road team of the year in the league.
Taking that running game, it's working on the road, so that's one of the big reasons why. Even tonight, they ran the ball very well. They played a clean game, and they hung in there to win it.
The coaches meet. You saw the quarterbacks couple of Midwestern kids who grew up on opposite sides of the city of Chicago. Romo up in Burlington, Wisconsin, and Cutler down in Santa Claus, Indiana. So Tony Romo tonight, 21 of 26, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And again, the Mazda post-game show with Rich Eisen and Tony Romo with a visit to the set coming up.